We are here for another episode of the Roselyn Omaka Show, and I am super excited because I have an amazing new actress, Margaret Phipps. She is here. Isn't she beautiful, y'all? Like, I'm just telling you. I am excited because I feel like you are just surrounded by amazing people that are going to guide you to like awesomeness, and you're awesome yourself. So just talk about yourself and how you even got started with this. Everything with acting.
This whole crazy thing.
We've been talking a lot before this, so I'm like, where do I start exactly? But I want people to get a taste of who you are and how you even came into this acting world.
I came into it kind of weird. I definitely did not want to be an actor growing up. I know a lot of actors are like, oh, I started when I was 6 and I've been doing theater my whole life. And that was absolutely not me. I was really into sports. I was more of a kind of analytical brain. Like I really liked science and stuff. But I also really liked singing. I liked doing choir. And so when I changed schools from middle school to high school, I got into our choir, but I was so terrified of meeting new people, and I was terrified of singing in front of people. I had ridiculous stage fright. And so my mom was like, well, if you're going to be in choir, you need to be in theater because you need to learn how to talk to people and you need to learn how to do things in front of people because that's life. You know, once you grow up, you're going to have to be able to talk in front of people. So I ended up doing theater in high school and I fell in love with it. And so cool. I started when I was like 14, 15. Honestly, never had a line in high school. I just was there for the vibes. I just really liked being there. I really liked musicals. And then once I turned like 17, my mom was like, all right, so what do you want to do? I was like, well, I could be an English major. And she was like, what would you do with being an English major? And I was like, I don't know.
No shade to English majors.
No. I was like, I loved poetry and I loved reading and that was something I was really passionate about. I loved writing and research papers and things like that. But I couldn't figure out what to do with it. And so then she was like, well, what else are you good at? And I was like, well, I grew up playing field hockey. I could be a field hockey player. And she goes, can you make a career out of it? And I was like, I don't think so. And she goes, what else do you want to do? And I was like, well, I guess I could be an actor. Like, let me just try and be an actor. And I luckily grew up in a family where they were very much follow your dreams rather than...
I was just about to say.
...than, like, get a job to make money and to, like, provide. Obviously you're going to have to do that at some point. But they're very much follow your dreams. And so I was like, well, I guess I can be an actor. And she goes, all right, let's start auditioning for schools. And so I went through the whole gambit of auditioning for all of my colleges and ended up going to Penn State for acting. And so that's how I ended up in it. And
that is so cool.
Yeah. And then I didn't figure out film until I was 20. I got signed by my first agent when I was 20 and started doing commercials. And so
Are y'all listening?
I realized that film was definitely more my thing because I'm quieter, I'm more shy, and theater's very big.
Yeah.
And there was a reason I probably didn't get lines because I'm not very big, but once I did film, something clicked and it made sense.
A spark.
It like everything kind of aligned right, and that just immediately put me in that.
I have a question because you said you were like shy, introvert, and your mom kind of pushed you. How long would you say that transition happened to where like you're like, oh, this is not so bad? Because there is someone, my days previously, working for Apple, that's a lot of people from all over. And so imagine working at the Apple store where you have, different sorts of energies everywhere. And there was a young lady that struggled very bad because, I kid you not, her job. Let's just say that her previous job, I'm not kidding, everybody was dead.
What?
I'm not making this up. She worked at a morgue.
She worked in a morgue. Okay, well then you don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah, she didn't talk to anybody. So now it's just like, oh crap. Yeah. Everybody's alive and these personalities. So that was like a shock for her.
It was a lot.
And seeing that growth from her throughout the years, she's not the same person. So I'm wondering.
I definitely grew up. I mean, I went into a program that was relatively small. There were only 9 of us that ended up graduating my program. We started it with 12. And so I was around kind of the same 8 other people for the 4 years I was there. Mm-hmm. But once I went into film, because when you're in theater, you're around the same people all the time. You're rehearsing things all the time. And so you get used to those personalities. When you're in film, you hop on a set and there's 50 people around you and they're all totally different human beings. And so you have to get used to it really fast. And I think I just learned like the best way to walk on a set is to immediately start making friends. And so I got really good at making friends, which was the first thing that I struggled with. And so it kind of helped me naturally get into the place where I could walk on a set and, know what I was doing and how to make friends. And it got a lot easier.
I think that's really cool. Do you, when it comes to your process and this journey, like, what would you say are tips that you can give to new actresses, like actors, like people within this space that want to get started, and maybe they, how do I put it? They didn't go to Penn State. I'm just going to say it. They didn't go to Penn State.
Well, I mean, so how I met some of my mentors and my close-knit actor friends was through acting classes. So when I first got signed by my agency, I also interned because I had been theater trained. I hadn't done film yet. I took a bunch of film acting classes. And so that was how I ended up meeting a lot of the people that I end up working with in the future that guided me through my career and still do. And so that was kind of the easiest thing for me to do, was to take acting classes, because I went from one medium to another. So that's a big transition. So that was probably the easiest thing to do.
Do you, with all the stuff that I know, when it came down to you, executive produce, that's the other thing too. So like executive producing, for refugees, like what do we know about, do you know about refugees? I'm saying it right.
What do we know about refugees?
What do we know about refugees? With this that you executive produced, like what's up like next for you in the future? Do you have anything working on now?
I do. So obviously What Do We Know About Refugees has come out. It's on YouTube. The next project, one of my projects just recently came out called Red Flags 2. It's a sequel to Red Flags 1. And I got to play like a really funny drunk best friend character. And so that was a fun little thing that I did. And then the next project I have coming out hopefully soon is a series on Lifetime called Text Me When You Get Home, and it's documentary recreations of kidnapping victims. And so, yeah, it's kind of dark. I got to represent the recreation of a girl called Madison Nygaard, and she is a survivor of a kidnapping. And so I got to recreate what her story was, and she interviews on top of that. And so that's the next thing that I have coming out. Release date to be announced, and that'll be out on Lifetime. And then after that, on a more positive note, I have a funny comedic character in a movie called Holly by Nightfall, directed by Andy Delaney, and it's in the last stages of post-production right now. I got to work with a really amazing cast. I got to work with my counterpart, and it was Jake Thomas. He was in Lizzie McGuire as a kid, and then
I was like, that name sounds familiar. I used to be obsessed with Lizzie McGuire.
He's awesome.
I thought public school was like that in real life, thanks to Lizzie McGuire. That's so Raven. Thank you, Disney. You messed that up for me.
I got to work with him, and he's like, his character was hilarious on that. He is just as hilarious in real life. And so Jake's character's name is Caleb, and I'm his love interest throughout the story. And then I got to work with, alongside all of that, it was an ensemble cast, so I got to work with Jack Falahy, who's in How to Get Away with Murder. I got to work with Hannah James, who was in Outlander and Mercy Street. I got to work with Eric Nelson, who was in 1883. And so I got to work with all these amazing people on one of the bigger sets that I've been on thus far, and I got to learn from all of them. They were really wonderful, and they really took me under their wing, and they taught me a lot about being on a set that big, and also like how to improve throughout. And so it was awesome.
That's so helpful.
Yeah, so it wasn't like you're walking on set with people that, you're just getting the scene done and going away. Like we really, I feel like, became a family. Like we would go out and we would play pinball together, and
that's fun. It's not just all on set. You're having fun outside.
So they were a really amazing group of people. So I'm really excited for that to come out. And Andy Delaney's amazing director. He was so fun. He was really on our level with everything, and so it was great, and I'm really excited about it. And
I'm excited for you, and I need to know all the information for all the projects that you're doing. I'm not even your mom, and I'm proud of you. Like, this is exciting because this is just the beginning, and so just keep doing you, stay focused, and just know that I'm proud of you. I'm watching, and I know that there are going to be other people that are watching, and no pressure, but like we're excited. Just know that we're watching because we're super excited, and you inspire us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed Margaret, and I'm going to look at this camera this time, and I'm just going to say this. We will see you next time. Thank you